Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Monday morning, afternoon or evening across where you may be at. I hope you're all doing well. And I just watched a clip from the Jeremy Vine show on Channel 5 here in the UK, and again they seem to be bandwagoning onto people with disabilities. And the topic of conversation was a caller was calling into the topic of reform threatening to take away disability benefits or cutting disability benefits, and they had a political commentator on there who basically said that some disability benefits should be taken away, and that he doesn't really believe that 1 in 4 people who identify as being disabled in the UK are technically disabled, and that's really dangerous. Let me explain why. As a autistic neurodiverse person myself, as someone who also has a mental health diagnosis of clinical anxiety disorder, I have struggled most of my life with feeling anxious, out of place, not knowing where my place is, feeling socially awkward, feeling that people are judging me, and I'm having to struggle to make everyday conversation. I struggle to make everyday eye contact with people, and being autistic is really, really, really difficult at the best of times, like having to constantly fit into a world that hates you and judges you for being what they call abnormal or weird or odd or broken or damaged. And to say that disability benefits are going to be taken away from people like me who actually truly rely on them and need them is extremely dangerous, because that's my way of paying my independent bills, paying my rent, being able to financially look after myself. And it's really worrying that these politicians are so quick on the bandwagon to go, oh, let's take away the disability benefit from people who are disabled. Do they even know what it's like to be disabled? I bet they don't, because if they spent a day in my life, a day in a disabled person's life, they would know the struggle of having to cook and clean for yourself, and having to make sure that you're able to travel, like, or limit travel if you can't, traveling to see friends and family across town from you, or having to deal with the everyday boss timetables and reading the schedules, and going to a supermarket to do your basic food shop, or if you're not even able to do that, like me, I do a lot of online food delivery shopping because I physically can't handle going into a supermarket. I don't like going in it. It's the noise, it's the freezers humming, it's the music playing, it's the constant tannoy announcements. It stimulatory overwhelms me. I can't deal with being in a supermarket. It's just something that I can't do. Therefore, I choose the alternative to shop online and get my groceries delivered to me in my own calm flat, my own calm house, where I'm safe, where I'm in my safe place, away from the crowds of people, the noise of people, the smell of people, and children potentially. And if you are threatening to take away these disability benefits, you do not know the backlash and the chaos that this is going to cause for people like myself who rely on the state benefit that I am awarded by the UK government for being physically disabled. I have a mental health diagnosis of clinical anxiety disorder. I have high functioning autism, which makes it even more intense for me every day just to survive and to function every day. I feel really out of place all the time. I feel like I'm not wanted, I'm not accepted. I'm constantly judging what I say, how I say it. I'm constantly judging what I look like, the lack of eye contact, my body language, the way that I present myself, the way that I'm dressed, or the way that I choose to get dressed, the way that I speak, my tone, the way that I look at the camera or not look at the camera, the way that I'm able to record my videos or script my videos for these video topics. And it really does worry me that these politicians are so out of touch with people with disabilities, because they don't understand the everyday function and the everyday struggle that people like me go through just to get up in the morning, having to do, have a bath, wash my hair, make sure that things are put away safely, make sure that I've got space to move around, make sure I'm able to get myself out to see my mum, my sister, my dad, my aunt, my cousins, make sure I'm able to plan how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to get home, how much money it's going to take me. Like, I have to plan all this ahead of time, so I'm not panicking thinking, how am I going to get there, how am I going to get home, how long is it going to take me, how long is it going to take me to get home. I have to plan every detail of my route to the absolute minute, because if I don't, I will be stimulatory overwhelmed, anxiety overwhelmed, my body will go into pain, because when I go into panic, I start feeling pain, whether it's a headache, or my body just tends to shut and go, you don't like this, do you, Gemma? Oh, no, we don't like this, do we? And my body will just shut down before I even know it has shut down. I don't have control of what my body does a lot of the time. My body will demonstrate to the level of pain that I'm in, to the point where I just can't do anything. Whether that's not socialising with people, having to have days at home by myself, having to just stay away from people because I physically can't be around them to socialise, having days where I feel constantly anxious. I'm constantly watching how I say things and where I say things, and constantly making sure that I'm with my safe people. So whether it's my dad, my sister, my aunt, my mum, my best friend, like, I have to constantly be on edge by what I'm saying. And if you take that disability benefit away from me, that will limit my socialisation even more. And you say that people with disabilities should be social, we should be mixing with people, we should be communicating, we should be enjoying life. Yes, we should be enjoying life, but that money is for us to independently function every day. It's for us to pay bills, rent, food, and anything else that we may need, whether that's social care or a carer or a personal assistant, or whether that pays for a cleaner, or whether that pays for things that we want to buy to enjoy ourselves. So whether that's a day out somewhere, or we go to a restaurant for a meal, or it's little things like that money counts for so much. And that money is so important for us to be able to keep up independently functioning and independently being a member of society without having the threat of constantly being like, oh, is our money going to be scrapped? Is our money being taken away? Are they going to really punish us? And it's just ridiculous. The threats need to stop, because it's just scary. There's no need for the threats to even be made to begin with. And I understand the UK benefit system is overwhelmed with people who potentially don't necessarily want to apply for PIP or be on PIP, but that's their story, not mine. We have to be careful to each individual person's story, to the point where people are worried about how they're going to live, how they're going to function, how they're going to pay bills, how they're going to pay food, how they're going to be able to pay things that they need to successfully make their medical conditions a lot more easy to live with. So rather, like for me, it's about going out and then I can get a taxi or a bus, or I can pay like my family to help me take places. I can go food shopping and know that there's going to be someone there to help me do my food shopping, because my brain will physically not cope without having some kind of list or support, or thinking, right, Gemma, I've got to buy A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, I can't do it unless my brain physically gets to a point where people go, oh, Gemma, you haven't got this in your cupboard. Oh, Gemma, you haven't got this. Oh, Gemma, you haven't got that. And then I'm like, oh. So having that money benefits me, because it's the way that I pay for my food shopping. It's the way I pay my bills. It's the way that I pay to go out see my family and my friends. It's the way that I go out to socialise myself and make my communication better with people. And these politicians are just so out of touch with people with disabilities, so out of touch with reality. They don't know what it's like to be disabled. They don't have no idea what it's like to every day feel like you're not accepted, that you feel that you're worthless, that you're a second-class citizen. They don't understand what it's like to be autistic or neurodiverse or physically disabled, intellectually disabled, or having some kind of disability like COPD or cancer, or some kind of disability that limits their life, or limits their social ability, limits their movement, limits their ability to function. And it's just so wrong. It really is wrong. Like, we need to wake our politicians up and go, hey, enough is enough, because they don't know what it's like. But I will link the clip down below in my video description if you wish to watch it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.